maybe Johnson City or Memphis bound. No matter where I go, no matter what I see, I still hear the calling of Tennessee. And who are we to know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow? The sun is gonna rise each and every time, and I've still got Tennessee on my mind. I miss the smoke on the Cumberland and the fireflies at midnight, and the color of the leaves in the fall. Yeah, I've still got Tennessee on my mind. Yeah.
So Luke, you are 1/3 of the management here. So it's you, your old man Ferg, who is apparently retired,
Yep.
and your brother Tom.
Yep.
So you look after the chop and the silage part of it.
Mainly silage and a bit of ag work, bit of cultivation and drilling and seeding. Tom, he looks after the baleage side of things and harvest
Yeah.
as well. And Fergus, yeah, mainly the overseer of the whole
The referee between the two of you.
over the whole operation, really. I've done a little bit of work in the combine myself, but I just love the choppers. I just love the horsepower. I just love the go factor of them. You know, the combine's nice, but it can put you to sleep at times. You see.
Yeah. So I heard a story that Green to Gold started because Ferg retired.
Yeah.
He came here to retire, and then this happened.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
How did that go down exactly?
Well, we originally were from down south. We had a farm down there, and we used to holiday up here every summer. And then we moved up here because Ferg sold the farm and wanted to retire. And he got bored, so he bought himself a tractor just to keep himself busy and just do the odd job here and there. It just grew from there. He
started out with a drill, was it?
Yeah,
Just doing groundwork.
Just mainly a drill and cultivation, some discs, and then he bought the combine. Was kind of what he really wanted, because he enjoys, you know, that probably the most. We moved here about 2005, and then I think the farm sold around 2008, and then he bought the first tractor, I think the same year, 2008. I think it was about 3 months, he said, there where he wasn't doing anything, and he said he was just going crazy, so he thought he'd better do something, so he bought himself a tractor, and then it just kind of ballooned from there.
Yeah, fast forward to today then, you're running 2 choppers, 2 combines, 2 fusions, 2 chaser bins, 2 loaders. That's the main
Yeah,
stuff.
we kind of, two Masseys
2 Masseys.
as well.
Before the Masseys though, you were kind of all John Deere.
Yeah.
And how did the Masseys come about?
We were just after cheap horsepower, and after COVID, the only tractors we could get to buy quickly were some Masseys, and we just demoed them. Didn't think we were ever buy any, and we were actually impressed enough to buy 2, and they're close to 3,000 hours on them now, and they're still going strong. And all workers and girls, they fight over the Masseys. They've got good front suspension, wicked cab suspension, and probably the best part about them is they sound so good because they're pretty much just straight pipe. Tier 2, no, they sound good. So
If you were trading to them, you reckon you'd go Massey again maybe?
probably,
Yeah, like you have bought new John Deere since you weren't fully converted over to Massey.
Nah, we'll always be John Deere for the main tractors, because we're not going to be called red to grey anytime soon. So. But they're good, just utility tractors, just for the odd jobs, pulling trailers, bit of cultivation and whatnot.
The other day I see you were demoing a merger.
Yeah.
An ROC?
Yeah. I've been looking at videos on YouTube and whatnot of mergers. I know GRASSMEN had one a few years back. This one's an Italian made, ROC one. And Webline, which is a branch here in New Zealand, the company, they called us and said, oh, do you want to demo one? I was like, yeah, because they look very interesting. And gave it a bit of a go, and I was pretty impressed, really.
Yeah, so you actually did drive the merger itself for a couple hours, and then you were driving the chopper, lifting the rows that it made.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it?
No, it was pretty cool. I loved how, because our biggest issue in this area with, say, choppers is rocks and stones and whatnot. And it didn't really lift any stones, even in the real undulating ground, it just rode through quite nicely, and it kind of even bounced over pivot ruts not too badly as well.
An issue out here that we wouldn't have at home is these pivot ruts, they're quite bad in some places. Some farmers do fill them with gravel, don't they? And that kind of thing.
Yeah, so they can be bad. They can be up to your knees. You can jump into a few of them. The pivots even get stuck in them.
Yeah. So did you reckon the merger was pulled, like it wasn't lifting up stones like a rake would pull them in?
Yeah.
It's better that way.
It definitely. I went over some stony spots where I know for a fact, because this is an area that we chop 4 times a year, and I know the rake always tends to rake in a few stones in those spots, and it just glided over and didn't pick up any.
So you're running a 950 and a 960 chopper, and is it a big issue for you picking up stones and blowing out knives and that kind of thing, like, is it?
Well, we've had a few knives kind of crack. We haven't blown any out, touch wood. But it more just chips away at them and burrs them over, and then it's hard to keep them sharp. So usually after you put a new set in, a couple weeks later, it's pretty dull, and it doesn't matter how many passes you put on them, you just never get them back to being sharp again,
Do you reckon a merger could fully replace a rake?
Oh, well, they're two different concepts, really, but they kind of do the same job. I'm not sure. I think there'll always be a place for a rake. The rows are a bit nicer from a rake. The merger can leave it a bit lumpy, kind of knocks them up a little bit.
Like that particular merger you had out the other day, like she'd only merge to one side. She wouldn't bring it into the middle.
No.
And she was a 10 metre, wasn't she? Ideal for making a 60-foot row, but 60-foot row is too much sometimes.
That's it though. You'd have to tack the paddock completely different from a rake. But if it was thick enough, the rows might even be too thick for the choppers. But I know the 960 with new knives seem to handle it all right, but we don't always have new knives.
Say that merger you had out the other day, would that be much dearer now than your Crone 4-rotor rake?
I'm not too sure. I need to ask them the exact price, but I know in the last 2 years that 4-rotor rakes have gone up 100 grand, but when you're paying over 200,000 for a 4-rotor rake now, it's kind of might be worth kind of looking at what else is on the market, because if it's only a 10, 20,000, 30,000 Deere, you might almost go a merger,
Yeah, if you're going to save wear and tear on your chopper.
Yeah, well that's it, and then if the knives are better, then you're burning less diesel as well, so you're saving money on that front. It depends how long they last. We just don't know how long a 4-rotor rake lasts.
So we might see one here in the future, maybe. So how did you get on with your Irish employees this year?
Yeah, good. No, we've always liked the Irish. The last 2 years we've just had Kiwis, just due to COVID and the borders being closed or whatever. But no, it's we usually always have Irish here. Yeah. Either some even from Northern Ireland as well, which doesn't matter what part of that Ireland you're from. They tend to be pretty good.
Like, what do you use for recruitment? Do you use social media or recruitment agencies, or
mainly just Facebook?
Any young lad at home watching this and he reckons he wants to come and do silage in the hills of Wanaka next year, Facebook is the place to get you?
Yep. Yeah. Just message us there, and we'll try and reply as soon as we can. But
it's probably about as scenic as you're going to get.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the world to go cutting silage around here. Wanaka is a fairly amazing place.
Wasn't the plan to contract here, but here we are and we're grateful for it, you know.
Yeah, for a place that's like so many mountains and looks so rugged, like you don't cover that much real steep, hilly ground, the lads were saying. It's all kind of flat, nice flat shelves between the hills.
Yeah, just good terraces.
Yeah, or terraces they call them, yeah.
Terraces. So we're definitely quite lucky. It's flat enough for them to put pivots on as well. And it's just ever since irrigation took off here, there's contracting kind of took off here as well. Not too much steep stuff, but there's the odd hill.
2 wagons there with the reels taken off them for drawing in the silage.
Yeah.
Were they working wagons one time?
When we first started doing silage, they were the first things we got for silage. We didn't get our first chopper till 2015. 5 years, they were kind of the powerhouse of the silage outfit, really. But over time, the rocks eventually ate away at the rotors and the knives. Where the knives are quite expensive, and you'll just get one rock and it could blow 4 of them out. We did jobs where you'd finish the job and half, if not more, of your knives were gone, and you're looking at thousands of dollars there. And as we got more and more work, we just needed to get faster, so that's kind of why we went to the chopper. By the end of it, the pickups were...
So you just decided to take pickups off and use them as trailers?
We drop them off, so then the trailers aren't as heavy to pull around. But they're good trailers, good floor on them, and they've got awesome suspension. And good 17 size tyres on them. They're nice and stable with their suspension. It's unreal, really. Just over time, the pickups, they just died.
And would you miss the weight of the pickup on the front of them?
No, they're actually better with the weight off. On certain hills, they don't push the tractor around the same. We've had the odd slight kind of jackknife slide here and there with the pickups out of them. There's less weight and it doesn't push the tractor around as much. So they actually ride a lot better without them. These ones anyway, yeah.
And how did she come about then, the stewards?
We had Englishmen work for us for 3 years, and he had stewards back home on his farm in England, and he raved about them, and we went down to Mayer Contracting, who had stewards down there at Waimate. They looked pretty impressive, and you could get scales on them because we like to weigh all our silage, so we know exactly what we're chopping to give the client the weights. And they look like heavy built trailers, so we went with the stewards with scales.
And you have a Stewart bale trailer as well. Did you buy the 3 of them at the same time?
Yeah, they all came in at once.
Might see some more of them here, so.
Yeah, I'd like to get a few more, because we run a few trucks as well, but it's hard with trucks on farm ground with pivot ruts and rough tracks and all the rest. The trucks.
Did you use the trucks then for carting bales of straw and grain as well?
Yeah, and we want to kind of keep the trucks at that. They just get damaged quite a bit doing silage, so I'd like to get some more trailers. But yeah, the trucks, they mainly do straw and grain around the area. We'll be carting a bit of straw around and baleage as well. We buy a bit of baleage in the area and then resell that to whoever needs it.
So that kind of keeps the trucks going for the winter then?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah. And a bit of grain gets trucked around in the winter as well. More so in the spring, but keeps the trucks busy, yeah.
Right, well Luke, we'll leave it at that. Right. Thanks for chatting. I might make it back again one day to see what you bought since.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. Yeah, stop by again. It was fun.
Timmy, you're like the ringleader of the Kerry men around here, I'm told. I heard you came out and dragged a few lads with you, is that true?
They were made to come, so bring them all along. We all came together.
Yeah, you were here a couple of years ago, yeah?
I was here as well a couple of years ago, yeah, 6 years ago. Since I was here that time, I kind of wanted to come back and just didn't get the opportunity with COVID, and so then this year I just said I'd come. So it was now or never, so one last hurrah, I suppose. So there was just 2 Irish here that time, so we were kind of lone soldiers, I suppose.
Yeah, and were you on a loader back then as well?
No, I was planting beet that time, kind of for the first 2 months. And then I was kind of on a wagon, bit of raking, chaser bin, just kind of whatever had to be done really. I was kind of...
And in this time were you straight onto loader?
Straight on. Well, I was planting beet again for a few weeks when I came first. And I did a bit of cultivation and on the loader then since the silage started, yeah. So I came in the middle of October and silage started around the 10th of November. So when silage started then it was just silage with all the cultivation done. Say the lads came, a few of the lads came in September. So they started in September, October, and silage in November, they're kind of back onto cultivation now again.
Silage is basically finished now, like, is it we're into
It's kind of calming down, yeah. We'll be at more cultivation again and harvesting than silage really, so.
You run 2 crews of silage here, is it?
2 crews of silage, yeah. So the other crew kind of just, there was one job they were kind of doing in a lot of the time, and they did a few jobs around it. And the crew I was on, then we just kind of ran around the different jobs a lot of the time really.
So like there's one big customer that nearly justifies one chopper on its own, is it?
Nearly, yeah. They do a few jobs around it, so they kind of just stick to that job really. And there's a couple of 2 or 3 other jobs near it, and they just kind of manage all that. So we just kind of do all the running around into the other jobs everywhere else. So we'd be kind of, I suppose we'd see more farms, but it is grand like.
You got spoiled this year with a brand new loader.
I'd nearly rather the old one. That is grand, yeah. Just is great to get the opportunity to get something from new out here. Like, I was delighted when they said that I could go on it, so I wasn't going to refuse it anyway.
Yeah, there's probably not a massive amount of 435 Red S's back in Kerry, like.
No, not many of them anyway.
I'm sure there's 1 or 2 though, is there?
I think there's one in Dingle, and there's a couple. There's a good few Komatsus and a few Volvos and stuff.
Yeah, like have you much experience on JCB loaders back home?
Good, but yeah, to be just the JCB I was driving at home, a 416.
Yeah.
So I kind of started with that and kind of got Airshot is much the same really, just a bit bigger. I had the gist of it from that. So.
Is the loader driving your main job back at home, like?
No, mowing, kind of do all the mowing and a bit of baling and it's a bit of everything really. And any day I had to go on the pit, I'd jump on it for a bit, you know. I'd rather just kind of run around the other jobs, you know. Whereas kind of got sick of that, so I said I'd jump on a loader here if I could, so.
Yeah, and have you been on the loader basically every day the last few months?
Yeah, so I got it, I think I got it on the 20th of November, and I've been on it every day since, I gave 2 evenings baling and a day cultivating, and that was it. So every other day I was just loading silage really.
It's a solid silage season here straight through.
Like we started, you could say the 10th of November, and sure it is now into February, and it was just silage every week from when we started. It was just all silage.
And today we're in out of the rain today, like, but you haven't even had that much rain.
No,
this season,
like today now was the first day in a good few weeks, but it is well needed, so they'll be delighted. But no, there's very little rain. I'd say maybe 2 evenings we might have got rained off, 2 or 3 evenings while we were at silage, so nothing compared to home anyway.
Yeah, like sure, I could even see there when you were cutting the silage, it was under pivots, irrigators, but like the ground that wasn't irrigated was just pure burnt.
Oh, burnt, yeah. So without pivots, they have nothing here in this area anyway. If you go down south or go up to the North Island, they're grand without pivots, but here now there's nothing. But even at the moment, the pivots were struggling to keep up, so they're glad to get the rain now, I'd say. So, but it'll probably a bit of rain might bring a bit more silage too, because there was a few lads with 2nd and 3rd cuts that weren't sure, so the bit of rain might make that happen now, so.
What's the plan now that the grass is quieting down?
There's cultivation now again, and they're baling a good bit of straw, and that'll have to be drawn in, and the 2 combines are out. Just kind of re-drilling all that ground in again for winter crops again. So it's kind of like there's always something to do really.
Have you any interest in the combines or anything? Or?
Not the combines really, no. I did the chaser bin the last time here. Now it was great to get the experience because you wouldn't, where we are at home, they're in the lot of that anyway. Yeah, so it's a change, like, so yeah. It's nice to see it, It's impressive, to be fair, to see the 2 combines working together.
I haven't seen the 2 of them together now, but it's 2 780s, is it?
I think so, or 770s or something. I'm not sure the numbers of them now.
The 2 of them are the same anyway?
Yeah, the 2 of them are identical, yeah. 2 McDon heads. So, no, they're fine, to be fair.
Yeah, they're running flex heads there. Obviously, it's fairly rolling countryside they're cutting.
Like it's unreal. But if you see the way they can shave the ground, it's like to be like a floor after them. Like they were cutting peas there, seeds for peas there a few days, and they were kind of lodged, and they were just shaving the ground. Like it's unreal. You couldn't imagine how they'd get it so clean. Like.
To be fair, now you're fairly spoiled with scenery around here.
It's nice, alright.
Yeah, it's
nearly as good as Kerry, I suppose you could say in a way.
Yeah, just kind of. I'd say you just went on to Google and looked up where in New Zealand is most similar to Kerry.
Yeah, that's where we came.
And you landed here.
You caught us out there. And yeah. No, it is very similar to home, but it's just, there's more, like everywhere you look here where we are, there's mountains.
Yeah, you're kind of inside in like a bowl for all the world here, isn't it?
Like if you look all around us, there's mountains. So It is lovely, like, because you've kind of rugged mountains over there and you've kind of more rocky mountains over another side, so you've the best of both worlds, really.
Even where you were cutting the silage there, like on the edge of the field where the pivot ends, it's like a drop of whatever.
Terraces, there's heaps of terraces around here, like just straight drops. It is mad, like if you drove along the roads here, you'd say there's hardly no land. You'd wonder where we're doing all the work.
Yeah, because when I was driving up here, a guy came up from the south.
Yeah.
But coming up, it's just not, and I was like, where are these lads combining like?
Yeah.
You know, there was no sign of any crop coming up the road.
You think
or
we're having
like.
you on, like, but no, it is like you would drive up into one of them terraces and there could be 500 or 600 hectares just all under pivot, and you wouldn't see none of it until you'd actually go up. And a couple of weeks ago we drove up this road. I'd never been up it before, and there was just a heap of big farms all under pivot above there, and you couldn't see none of it from the road until you drove up. So there's kind of hidden gems, really, I suppose.
You do have the big rivers there coming down off the mountains, and you have melting glaciers for fresh water, so it's no better supply to pivots, I suppose.
Oh no, I think they're pulling most of the water out of the rivers, so they'd want it all in these days.
Yeah, it has been that dry, like.
Oh, unreal. Like in the space of, like over Christmas there, the difference in a week, it just turned browned up. Like even to walk on it now, wherever there's no pivot like this crispy, you know, you'd want to be careful with it, to be fair, you know.
Yeah.
It was a lot greener when we first came, like, which is fine.
Are you heading home soon, or are you going to stay for the winter milking cows or anything mad?
No, I'll probably head home now for the spring at home, probably March sometime, early March, so back to that madness.
Yeah, you're going to go silage at home again?
I probably will, yeah. Do another season with it now.
Are you going to go on a loader now when you get home?
If they get one of these, I'd probably think about it, alright.
I'd say you're spoiled now with the loader. You're sitting up there watching the boys covering pits. You'd hardly go back at anything else now.
No, that's the one of the perks.
I did see you throw a tire or two yesterday, right? But I'd say that's only because the camera was around.
That's why the camera was there, yeah. So they had to make an effort in, like, you know.
Even the boys said now the pit is tidier than usual with you yesterday.
Oh, it is. Oh, geez, there was awful effort went into that.
They said you were just showing off as well.
Oh, it is a mess otherwise. The trueness. The boys were amazed. They didn't know who was driving the loader. We had to make an effort.
Yeah, it turned out well now, in fairness. I'll give you that one.
Grand. Makes it easy for covering anyway and everything else. So it's fine.
Do you find the farmers fussy over here now about pits, or?
No, geez, they're very easy going. It's kind of just do your own thing, really. Though a few of them at the start were doing rollovers, and it is kind of all square pits now. And I'd prefer the square pits, alright. You know, that's what I was used to. So, but no, they're no bother. They'd call to and they just tell you roughly what they want, and you do your best, and they're happy out. But a lot of the places you wouldn't see farmers. You would just be told by whoever's in charge of us.
Yeah, they wouldn't come near you, like.
No. Like you're kind of going in, you're doing the whole job. You're mowing it, raking it, chopping it, drawing it, putting it in the pit, covering it. There's no need for the farmer, really, I suppose. Kind of doing start to finish. So it is ideal.
Do you cover every pit then?
Yeah, most of them, yeah.
This is where I put in the footage of each.
That's where you edit that bit now, yeah.
Luke,
but it's grand, like.
Luke doesn't want lads at home thinking
no, but it's grand, like you'd have great all crack covering the pits, to be fair. Like the
you would do anyway? Sitting up in the loader?
I'd follow. That's the only chance I get to eat my lunch. I'd be gobbling away. But no, they'd get a good, they'd never leave us short-handed covering pits, to be fair. Though there's a few farms there now, they'd help us with workers. Now they'd bring them on, and they'd always get, say if the baling boys were finished here, they'd come on and should have great all crack now. So it makes it easier, innit? Whereas most of the pits really there's very few of them you'll be more than an hour and a half covering. So with all the lads and throw up the tyres at this, and the tyres are just thrown in a heap and just scoop them up. And
yeah, it's only one sheet of plastic always out here as well, isn't it? The thicker kind of plastic.
Yeah, they have that oxygen barrier in underneath it as well, which is all kind of one sheet, so it pulls out together. So you just kind of pull it out and cut it to whatever length the pit is, and that's it. Pull it out and cover it. It was a few days now. It was a bit windy. It was a bit interesting, like a kite.
Any stack I see over here, a lot of them are kind of sheltered by trees, like the one yesterday. They're in the corner.
Yeah, a few of them, but there's a few as well. They be just, like there's no real yards for pits. It's just kind of they're on top of gravel, really. So
or even in the field sometimes.
Yeah, even in the field as well. Yeah. But not many of them now here, to be fair. It's kind of they'd have spots with the last couple of years that they were putting them, and they've them kind of set up for it. There was a few wedges as well. I don't know if you've seen any of them. They just kind of they dig into a hill of a field, and it's like a pit with walls at home, really. But they're very easy cover because there's just a sheet on top. There's nothing on the side, so the boys love seeing them.
Right, Timmy, we will leave it at that, and I'll go find the next man.
Yeah, no bother.
Thanks for your time.
No bother, right? Pleasure.
Right, Adam, you're after jumping ship since the last time I seen you. You were in a Massey the last day.
I was in a Massey. We gave a good bit of the season on a Massey in a trailer, trying silage, but silage is kind of quieting down now a small bit, so back to groundwork and other bits and pieces.
You can't really complain now. You're in a fairly new, I'd say it's new anyway, an 8R.
It is, yeah, it's, I think it's 12 months old, and I have a 8-metre Amazon cat dress.
And tell us now what everyone's actually going to be wondering at home. Massey or John Deere, what would you prefer?
It depends on the John Deere, sure, couldn't complain with one of these.
Yeah.
Those Masseys are serious comfortable. The Vario and all the Masseys are nice. But no, it's just hard to beat one of these tractors now for groundwork. The comfort, the power, everything will have it like.
There's only what? Is there 20 horsepower between the two of them?
That's all.
I think the Massey's a 320.
Yeah.
Are they 320 though? Do they feel a 320 like, would you reckon?
Not really, but I've also put the Dyna 6 gearbox in them now that you could actually drive them properly. The Vario's going to take a bit of power out of them anyway.
Yeah.
No, you'd still think, they're still a 280, 300 horsepower tractor, but they're not. No, you will notice a small bit with the Vario.
Yeah. 'Cause you wouldn't see many Masseys that size, like.
No. But
Even over here, I haven't really seen any.
Not really, no. It's nice there. You have no big difference with the tractors over here. Like the Masseys, no AdBlue, no DPF, no EGR. It's basically just a straight line tractor.
Yeah. You were saying the Massey's very comfortable, is it?
Serious comfort, yeah. Serious comfort, like. All fairness to the boys, they didn't spare no expense ordering them. They have all the extras. A lot of the tractors here are that way. They're ordered full spec.
Yeah.
There's no money spared on any of them.
Yeah, I see she has wheel weights in the back as well. Probably helps take the bounce out of it, like.
It does, yeah. It does, in fairness. Now you have a big tyre under it and you have the wheel weights, so there's no fear of it. You're not going to get thrown around the place too much inside it anyway.
Yeah. You're a Kerry man as well then?
I'm a Kerry man, yeah. Kilcummin, just outside Killarney.
Yeah, I'd say you were hardly driving many 8Rs back there.
No, just all T7s back there. So it is.
And what were you at before you came out here?
I was just working with the same contractor as Timmy back home.
Oh yeah.
And just drawing silage, spreading slurry, raking.
So Timmy kind of dragged you all out here, did he?
He did. Like I was humming and hawing with a long time saying, I'll come out, and then Timmy said it to me one day, he goes, if we're going to go now, if we're going to go, just go now.
Yeah.
And I said, fine, so, and he sent me Tom's number, and I was talking to Tom, and it just kind of went from there then.
Yeah, Timmy's just trying to relive his youth, like.
Oh, that's all.
Coming back after.
He doesn't want
6
to
years
admit the
ago
fact that he's shoving on, like. It was 6 years ago, yeah. But no, it was well worth coming out. Anyone that was even thinking of coming out, like, should just don't think twice about it and go for it. It's something I should have done years ago,
Yeah. Sure, even if you didn't know someone out here, like the way things are now with social media, it's not that hard to find crowds out here looking for lads. Like,
definitely not. Like, even if you're just.
There is recruitment companies there as well, but I suppose you'd be trying to avoid them if you could, maybe.
Yeah, there's a few there, but.
And what are these boys like to work for? They give you the best of scenery anyway, and the best of gear.
Best of gear, and there's no problem with nothing. Like, even if you didn't know what you were doing, once you're willing to learn, they'll give you a chance at anything.
Yeah.
No, which a lot of things you'll get chances here on that you won't at home. You'll be there a few years and you'll be at the same thing all the time. Whereas this is my first year here. Didn't your first year at home? You'll get put up on an 8R, like.
Yeah. A lot more opportunity out here, like. Actually, just bigger gear in general, I suppose, as well, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, you planning to come back next year?
I'll come back again next year, yeah.
So these boys again, or would you try somewhere else?
No, I'll come back to these boys. Everything so far so good with them, so I've no bad word to say about them, so I've no reason not to come back to them, really, you know.
Yeah.
But you see different kinds of things here, like we have a lot drier climate here than we have at home.
Yeah, sure. Like you see here, wherever there's not an irrigator, the place is just burnt.
Yeah.
Like obviously this farm here now has all big pivot irrigators, and even all the roadways are kind of built in a circle to suit them, and all the fences are in a circle, and all the paddocks are like pizza slices kind of for all the world. Like.
Yeah, for even here now we're kind of working in a circle, and if you don't have kind of a semicircle, you've got a triangle like a pizza slice.
Yeah. Well, you're just working here you're going with the pivot ruts.
I'm going with the pivot ruts now on this one, yeah. Some of them then you'd be It kind of depends what way it works out the handiest. But this farm is only after filling the pivot ruts with gravel, so he doesn't want them damaged, so it's just easier work with the pivot then, and you can stay outside the tracks where the wheels are going.
Yeah. Well, sure, you have it handy anyway with your auto steer.
Sure.
Only set your line and off you go. Sit back and relax for the day then.
Yeah, we do enough of killing ourselves at home.
The auto steer is starting to creep in at home now as well.
It is, but sure, it is about time we caught up with the rest of the world really into it.
Yeah.
But like, I never used auto steer till I came out here, and it used to be hard to go back not to using it now again. Like,
yeah. And I assume you never used that size of a disc harrower than before, or
no, it's all
did you do
3
much?
metre down around us.
Yeah.
I done a share of power harrowing and that at home, but I never really done any disking at home.
Yeah. They wouldn't have much mass in a 3 metre machine out here, like.
No, so there's even a power harrow there in the yard they didn't use in a couple of years, and that's a 6 metre, and they reckon it's kind of too small.
Yeah, they're not big into power harrowing out here anyway, though, are they?
Not really, because you see, it's so dry around here, they can't really use the power harrow because of what wind they get as well. It'll blow. Like, even there was a few days now cat trassing before the drills. You'd have to wait until the drills are nearly caught up to you to stay cat trassing, because when it's so dry, and then with the wind, all their soil tends to blow away. Like,
Sure, it's nearly all, like, it's all disking here, like, there's not much ploughing either, I'd say, is there?
No, there was...
Like anywhere in New Zealand, I haven't really seen any ploughing, like.
Not really, no. I think the plough worked for the whole month of September and a small bit of October, but it gave 90% of his time inside in one farm, and that was a farmer that's going to all crop farming from beef farming, so he was ploughing all the grass ground.
Oh, yeah.
It's all crops now.
Have they many of these 8 hours?
There's 2 of these here now, 2 340s. This one came last year, and the other one then came, I think it was October this year, came the end of September, start of October kind of.
Yeah. They're just disking really, are they? All the time?
That's all, their groundwork all the time.
Yeah.
This one had a drill on it at the start of this season, and a 6 metre Amazon drill. The other one was just on the discs all the time, really.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And is it an 8530 I see there as well on a
There's
chaser
2 of
bin?
them there. There's an 8530 on a chaser bin, and there's an 8530 on another drill, but I don't know where that is now at the moment. That hasn't been in the yard in a good while now.
And then 7 hours they're running on the butterfly mowers and...
Yeah, 3 290s and 3 sets of class butterfly mowers.
Oh, there's 3 sets of mowers?
There's 3 sets of butterflies there, yeah, and
Oh, yeah.
3 290s. Just now it's just kind of quieting down. One set is parked, that's how the 290 was on the trailer now the last day, but there's usually a 7 or 230 that'll be on that trailer, but that's just gone for repairs to Cromwell, to the John Deere dealer.
Oh, yeah. I don't say that now. John Deere's don't break down, sure. Call it scheduled maintenance. Sounds better. Don't say repairs. The John Deere men go mad.
Everything has their flaws. I'm after running out of things to talk about.
Grand. She's mint. Well, Kevin, is this like a holiday for you now after the silage?
Yeah,
This like a spiritual retreat up in the mountains?
more or less, I'd say.
You couldn't get much more up in the mountains than this now, to be
No,
fair.
it's fairly nice up there, right there.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, it changed a bit. Trailer is nice as well. So
yeah. You were at the silage, like.
I was,
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
on the kind of 230 or the 7930 and the 290 for a couple of days on the Stewarts.
Did you get any going on the Masseys?
No,
No. I was
Yeah.
asking the lad earlier on what he thought of it. Great joke, he said, but he just couldn't beat John Deere.
yeah, I think the 79 basically for just straight power, well, bar the 290, like.
Yeah.
But I'd say if you're the Massey, the 230 and the 79, all the same trailers, and I'd say the 79 would just walk away.
Yeah. What do you think of this crack anyway? You bored of it? No.
Oh, it is nice.
Yeah.
It is kind of a bit. Yeah, it's a small bit similar to the beef planting, but
Oh, you were at that when you came out first, were you?
yeah, I suppose after 3 weeks, we were here 3 weeks then, I was planting the bee planter. So it was a nice change as well.
Yeah, had you ever done that before or anything like it even? No.
nothing.
Yeah.
Never done any bit of planting before I came over here.
Nothing at all.
No, bit of farming simulator, I suppose. That's what it is.
You were just all trailer, were you, this year?
For silage, yeah.
Yeah. You had a pretty solid season though, did you? Like, it's kind of 4 months flat out, like, is it?
Basically, yeah. Do you know, we didn't really get much kind of a lull because of the weather, like, since we kind of came over. Like, October was dry, November was a bit wetter, right? It was kind of stopping and starting with the silage then. But once December came in, it was fairly hell for leather, so.
Yeah. Is your Kerry man as well? Did you come over with Timmy as well?
Yeah.
He kind of dragged you here?
Well, he said he was coming back this year and had any interest in coming over, so I kind of always had it in the head to go travelling and kind of working at, like, contracting abroad, so I said that was as good as time as any to do it, like, especially when I knew lads coming over as well then. In fairness, Tom let us blow on Queenstown the airport, and we've got back down a few times since, but never went to the airport again yet anyway.
Oh, you flew into Queenstown?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What you reckon of the gear out there anyway?
Big.
Yeah,
a lot bigger than down in Kerry.
Yeah. Would you be John Deere man now, or like?
No, I'm kind of mostly New Holland at home.
T7s, like, twice.
Yeah.
Are you converted now?
Not fully. No, I still always have a soft spot for a nice New Holland or a Ford or something. So I would.
If someone else was writing the check though, you'd take a John Deere, I'd say.
No.
No?
Not yet. Fairly well spicket New Holland there now, I'd be happy out.
Yeah. You farming at home, like?
Yeah, we've dairy farm at home as well.
Oh, yeah. And what are you drilling here in this field today then?
Grass and turnips mixed together.
Alright.
Yeah.
Grass and they'll graze that then, like you would, like we would with like kale at home or something today?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That seems to be big out here as well. The lads were saying that they graze maize as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
They do, yeah.
They just leave it grow up to like waist height and leave the cattle into it,
I think about kind of 2 or 3 weeks ago there, I planted another 4 or 5 hectares for one lad who was just going for it to be grazing, like.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the stuff up in the fields just next door, and it was 8-9 foot high, and there was this stuff on it being planted.
Yeah.
Any lad back home would think we're mad, like, but he seems to be working from, so.
I suppose there's no point asking you too much about the drill, because you probably just you're showing how to use it and what buttons to press, and that's it, I suppose.
That's about it. I'm kind of still trying to get used to it. It seems grand in fairness, like, 'tis fairly simple, like.
Yeah. Sure, you have all the screens and stuff anyway to.
Yeah. I have my auto steer.
Auto steer. You're spoiled, lad.
I have my screen. Just once it's calibrated right, and.
Yeah. Will she tell you now if she gets blocked?
No.
Oh.
That's the one thing, alright.
Yeah. And can you check it then or anything, or?
Walk out the back and shake the pipes.
Yeah. So far now, was it mostly direct drilling you were doing, or were they discing ahead of you, or? No,
just direct drilling. I haven't.
All direct?
Yeah.
Have they a different machine then for following the disc harrows?
Yeah, they've one of an Amazon Cirrus.
Oh, right, yeah.
They've 2 of them.
Because they love discing over here, in fairness, like. They're mad for it.
No, you would see too much ploughing over here, but.
No, and they don't like power harrows either.
Hate them.
Yeah.
We haven't seen that out once this year. And
yeah.
I was just talking to one of the boys the last day about us, and he was here 3 years now, he was saying, and he collected the power harrow one day, and then next thing the farmer changed his mind. Didn't want the place to be power harrowed, and he hasn't seen it move since.
Yeah. I don't know, I'd say the soil isn't deep enough here for ploughs or power harrows or anything like.
Not really.
You only have a thin layer of topsoil, like.
No, because I done a week and a half or something of ploughing ice at the kind of my second week here. I was ploughing about 6 inches deep, and I was bringing up gravel.
Yeah.
So like, there's no real topsoil. Like.
Yeah, sure. You definitely wouldn't want to try and plough this paddock anyway, up here in the mountains.
No.
I'd say you'd hit some stones.
There's some farms around here that are wicked spots for stones.
Yeah.
That is frightening. You won't be taking off your boots drawing silage in it, because you'd be nearly full sure the second you've taken off, there's a stone going to be caught in the pickup or something.
Yeah. Right, Kev, sure, look, we'll leave it at that.
That's perfect.
Unless you've anything else to say.
No, enough now.
What's it like being outnumbered by them Kerry lads?
Yeah, it wouldn't be the best now, to be fair.
Would they be bullying you now, saying their turf is better than your turf or anything, no?
I know, us Cavan men will keep up.
Come here, you must be a big fan of 30 series John Deere's, because I haven't seen you drive anything else really. I've seen you in this 7530, I've seen you in a 6630 loading straw, and I've seen you in an 8530 chasing grain, I'm fairly sure.
Yeah, so.
Oh, I did see you in, is it a 4240?
Yeah, 4240, bagging grain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the crack with the bagging grain anyway?
It's kind of the handiest way to store grain over the winter. They don't really have silos or anything, and the closest place is either in Cargill or down south a bit further. So
yeah, so I see you at it this morning there, and you were out and you were measuring the bag, and what's that about? You have to measure the stretch, is it?
yeah, just the plastic, it'll stretch so much, so you just adjust your brake and stuff. So you'd go out with your measuring tape and just make sure she's at 42 centimeters all the time.
Yeah, so you just load away into this hopper, and then you put the bagging tractor, we'll call it, it's in neutral, and she kind of just rolls away herself, and there's a tension is set on the bagger.
Yeah, so there's brakes on the bagger, so she'll hold herself back, so you can just adjust everything from outside the cab. You don't need to be in or out. You just jump into the 8530 every so often and just stop her, because she might go a little bit quicker than the bag. It's a good setup now, to be fair.
If there's too much stretch in the bag, then you make a big mess.
Yeah, she'll go pop.
Has it happened yet?
No, it hasn't happened yet, touch wood now, but I don't want to be the lad that does that in the end.
Yeah. And were you baling then most of the season, or what were you doing?
Well, I started off on the Amazon Catras, the 6 metre.
Yeah.
So you seen Adam at it there on the 8 metre.
Yeah.
So I spent 3 weeks or a month on that, and then baling started, and this has been my baby since.
Yeah, you're fairly like Mint 7530 now, original like on a Fusion is fairly dream setup really for a lot of lads, like.
Full IVT and everything, so it's foot on the brake, stop.
Yeah, you
Perfect.
can't really complain at that, like.
No, I couldn't fault her. Well, I'd rather she on 710s than on the 510s.
Yeah, she's on the narrow tyres, but.
They nicknamed her Skinny.
Oh yeah,
because of the tyres, but she's lovely for the job now.
Yeah. So she must be one of the she would be one of the older tractors in the fleet, we'll say, but.
Yeah, she's 2010 there, so.
Yeah.
I think she's third oldest or fourth oldest.
And what brought you over here then? Did you know the other lads from Kerry before he came over, or?
No, I came over with two friends of mine from Westmeath, and Joe and Des. So they were going to come out, and I kind of just bit the bullet. I said I'd go with them, and we came here, and Joe knew Timmy there as well. So
yeah,
that was a kind of a way in.
And they're jumping off already?
Yeah, they're gone up north for the maize season. So.
Oh yeah. And were you driving a Fusion at home before you came over, or?
Yeah, I did 3 or 4 seasons on a Fusion at home. So
you fairly knew what you were at coming over, like?
Yeah, you get to know a bit about them after a while.
Yeah, you can sort any issues that would pop up, like.
Yeah, I'm well versed in her anyway.
Yeah. And what do you think of the whole crack over here in New Zealand? Like, would you recommend it?
Yeah, I'd highly recommend it.
Yeah.
I love it here, just scenery and everything. Just a nice lifestyle.
You're not going to stay for the winter though?
No, I'd rather chase the summers now than stick a winter again.
I have not found any lad yet that's staying for the winter to go milking cows or anything. I thought now I'd come across, one or two. Like, I have heard of lads before that would stay on there for hardship over the winter, but I haven't met any yet now.
No, there's a few who've contemplated it, but summer's more enjoyable now.
Yeah, true, I suppose. So are you going to come back next year, do you reckon?
Yeah, I'll be back for definite.
Do you have many days of drawing in bales of straw? Obviously that's the job you do when you're kind of quiet.
Yeah, well, I'd start out baling in the morning when the dew's on it, just because stuff gets way too dry here.
Yeah. And
then between chasing I'll draw in straw there, so I think I've done a couple days at least now, but that just fills the time till I get on the chaser bin with Ferg, and away you go then till about 9 or 10 at night.
It must be handy enough baling down straw, I suppose, is it? You don't have to worry about plastic or changing rolls of wrap or anything like that, and you can throw out your 2 bales at a time. And
yeah, it's a dream now. Just no getting out, just keep an eye on everything, and the only thing you're getting out for is change net. So.
And that's not too often, I suppose.
No, them Irish rolls will do a good bit now.
The Irish rolls.
Yeah. You can see why.
Is that just a coincidence that they have the green, white and gold net?
I don't know.
I have seen it other places as well now.
Yeah, the boss said to me about 2 weeks ago before the straw started that he has this Irish net, but I didn't really believe him until I seen the pallet of stuff and it was the flag.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I have seen it now. It must be, I don't know, can you get it at home? It must be some crowd over here doing it, but I have seen it in another couple of places now.
Yeah, it's good stuff now. It'll go complete edge to edge and down about the sides, like.
Yeah.
It
Are
is
you turning
strong.
down the pressure now when you're baling the straw? Because it doesn't look like you are. The bales look very solid, like.
No, the pressure is the same as these bales here.
Yeah.
So,
Sure, I suppose there's no
They-
fear of them heating over here, like.
no, not at all.
Quite
but
the opposite, I suppose, really. They're nearly too dry, like.
yeah, they want a good tight firm bale, so.
Yeah, and then they don't put them in the shade at all. They leave them out then for the winter, is it? And
Yeah, they'll just kind of roll them up like tubes just
Yeah.
out in a laneway or wherever they have room and pick them up in the winter when some farmer
any
rains.
rain falls, just let it run off them kind of job.
Yeah, that's the kind of why they're on the round and not stacked like bean cans.
What you make of the kicker on the back of the Fusion?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
If you're baling hills or anything, you're not worried about them rolling away on you.
yeah,
They're just right there.
Would you make it? Do you reckon that system will ever make it back to Cavan?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so.
I suppose you don't really need it at home. Like I think it started out over here. They were doing it because they were baling this like lucerne and stemmy crops and
Yeah.
stuff. And when you leave out the bale, it pierces the plastic on the round.
Yeah,
So they start turning them up in their head. But they're big into stacking them on their head over here too, like aren't they?
yeah, they're big fans of that now. So
Whereas at home, you'd always stack them the
on
normal way,
round.
like.
Yeah,
So unless you're going to stack them on their head, there's really no point turning them up on their head, like, is there?
yeah. Just make it easier on a loader man coming in to grab them when they're this way.
Yeah. But sure, we're kind of more into the, what would you call them? The roller forks at home rather than the soft hands, like.
Yeah, and TR3s.
Whereas over
and
here,
that.
it's all soft hands.
Yeah, I haven't seen a single roller or anything.
Yeah. Now look, you're using a spike for the straw, right? Like.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but anytime I see a lad at bales of like silage or anything, it's always soft hands, and they're always stacking them on their head, like.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's just the way they do it over here, I suppose.
that's the way they do it. So
Yeah.
can't really fault it now. Everything works sweetly. So
Everyone is kind of drawn in with bale trailers here, is it? Or trucks, flatbed trucks even, is it?
we've had a few trucks drawn off us, but mostly the 170 and the Stewart bale trailer brings nearly every bale we make.
Yeah. It's just one Stewart bale trailer to have.
Yeah.
They obviously like the Stewart stuff then.
Yeah, and they're kind of easier to get.
All right.
I don't think there's as long a waiting list to get them into the country or anything. So
Yeah.
they seem to be a good trailer now.
Yeah. Right, will we leave it at that?
Suppose we may.
Thanks for chatting. See you later.
No worries. See ya.